imbalances gon' come and go. Baby, you just gotta make up your mind that every little thing's gonna be alright. Baby, don't you know all of them things gon' come and go. Baby, you just gotta make up your mind. We decided we're gonna be alright.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to switch it up a bit because I'm watching a TikTok where this girl was talking about like why some adults or most adults, usually their mind stops developing mentally past the age of 16, like they're stuck at 16 forever. And I was like, wait, because you know, like when something like that is brought to my attention, I'm always thinking like, wait, am I developmentally stunted at 16 years old? I don't think so. I personally do not feel like I am stuck at the age of 16. Like I feel like I'm my age, which I am 26. So I feel like I am 26. In the past though, like when I was growing up, like when I was, let's say, early 20s, I used to think I felt like I was 19. Like when I was like 21, 22, 23, 24, I was like, why do I feel 19? But then after 24, I don't know, something shifted and I just feel my age now. But I wanted to talk about that because she made a lot of good points in like how sometimes when you're like arguing with someone or even talking to someone, not even arguing, just like a regular conversation with someone, you stop and think like, why does this person talk like this, or why are they like that? Like they don't really think about stuff nuancely, is that even a word? Like with nuance. And that got me thinking and researching and self-analyzing myself, like trying to be more aware of like my mind and like taking like looking at like the different stages and seeing if am I stuck at 16, the 5 stages of adult development. So it's like 1, 2, 3. I think this age 16 one is the one that's stuck at like stage 2. But anyways, that was just the intro. So before I even start, I wanted to kind of just briefly talk about who is Robert Kegan. So Robert Kegan is a Harvard psychologist and one of the leading voices in adult development theory. Unlike most psychological models that focus on childhood, Kegan asks what happens after we grow up. Through decades of research, he discovered that many adults don't fully mature emotionally or cognitively, not because they can't, but because they're never challenged to. His theory is called constructive developmental framework, and it shows how adults grow not just by learning more, but by fundamentally changing the way they make meaning of the world. In simple terms, you can grow past who you've been taught to be if you're willing to face yourself. Stage 1. This is like the most basic level in his theory, and it's called the impulsive mind, infancy to early childhood. This is the toddler brain. Reality is all about immediate experience and impulse. If they want a cookie, they scream. If they're upset, they throw it. There's no concept of consequences or other people's feelings. It's just, I feel, I act. Think, me hungry, me sad, me mad. That's it. Most people grow out of this early on, but under stress, even adults can regress here. Ever seen a full-grown adult lose it over the wrong Starbucks order? Makes you think. Okay. Stage 2. So this is like the 16-year-old. 16, like, teenage years. Anyways, stage 2, the imperial mind, late childhood to early teen years. This stage is all about my needs, my wants, my rules. People at this stage follow rules only to avoid punishment or get rewards. Others are important, but mostly for what they can give you. Think, if I do this, what do I get? Example, a 12-year-old does chores just to earn video game time, or a 30-year-old only acts nice when they want something in return. Some adults stay here their whole lives, especially in power dynamics or manipulative relationships. Okay, this is stage 3, the socialized mind, typical adult stage. Now it gets deeper. This is where you start internalizing the voices of others, parents, religion, culture, society. You define yourself based on what others expect of you. Being liked becomes more important than being authentic. Think, I am who they say I am. I need to be good so they'll love me. Conflict feels dangerous here because your identity is still tied to external approval. This is the stage where people stay in toxic relationships just to be seen as loyal, say yes when they mean no, and panic when they feel misunderstood. Most adults live and die in this stage, and that's why so many of us feel stuck. So I was doing a lot of self-reflection, and I feel like I am stuck. Not stuck. I'm not. everything that I learned, I feel like I want to move past this stage because there's 5, I think. So I definitely want to reach stage 5. I definitely do feel like I'm at 3 going on the 4th stage. But I just wanted to talk about a little bit why I feel like why I am still at like stage 3 going on stage 4. I feel like since I'm more about reflecting, confronting, healing, and reshaping myself, I feel like that moves past stage 2. So I'm definitely not in stage 2. And I'm definitely more mid-20s cognitively and developmentally. So that's why I don't feel like I feel like I'm moving past stage 3 right now. But there's a lot of stuff on stage 4 that I'm like, I don't think I mastered that yet. But I think they said, I forgot where I read it, but I think it said stage 4. It's like when you're in your 40s. So I'm like, well, I'm not even in my 40s yet, so I have still like 10 plus years to work on that. Basically, I'm gonna talk about stage 4, and I'm gonna also do a checklist on stage 4. So like, maybe we can like be on the same page, like to see if any of us are on stage 4 that sees this video. But just to give a brief summary of stage 4, this is the self-authoring mind. This stage is powerful. It's when you begin to separate from the voices of others and define your own. You stop being who you were told to be and start becoming who you chose to be. Think, this is what I believe, this is who I am, even if others don't agree. It's not easy. Stage 4 requires unlearning your conditioning, setting real boundaries, living with being misunderstood. But it also where freedom begins. You become your own compass, and that changes everything. Most people don't reach this stage until later in life, and some never do. But this shift starts when you stop asking, will they be okay with this? And start asking, will I be okay with this? That is so powerful, and that just makes you think. The checklist: identity and self-definition. I define my values based on what feels true to me, not what I was told to believe. I can disagree with people I care about and still stay grounded in my beliefs. I've started letting go of roles or identities that no longer feel like me. That's something that I feel like I've started doing like this year. So I'm like, that's why I don't feel like I'm like still at stage 3. Like, I feel like I'm on my way to stage 4, if that makes sense. Because some of the stuff that's on this checklist, I do feel like I check off, but not all of them. Like maybe like not even half. I don't know. I feel more comfortable being misunderstood if it means staying authentic. Okay, I still struggle with being misunderstood. Like, I want to be understood at all times because growing up, I've always been misunderstood, or not always, but like most of the time, the majority of the time. That's why like when I try to express myself and try to give my point of view, if someone doesn't understand me, that hits my core, because I'm like, no, like this is what I mean. I don't know. So I'm not checking that one off. Okay, decision making and boundaries. I say no to things that drain me, even if others expect me to say yes. I have been working on that one. It's the people pleaser in me. Oh my god. I've been working on boundaries though. I make decisions based on long-term alignment, not just immediate approval. We're working on that one too. I set boundaries and stick to them, not to control others, but to honor myself. Okay, I'm checking that one off because I have been working more on honoring myself and respecting my own boundaries lately. Well, I've started doing this in 2022 with a whole friendship breakup that I had late that year, but I feel like that kind of skyrocketed. That was one of the things that made me kind of like set firmer boundaries and honor them. I don't always feel the need to explain or justify my choices anymore. I'm also working on that one, so that's not a full check either. Okay, internal compass. I regularly reflect on what I believe, need, and want without needing someone else to tell me. Let's move on. I can tell when I'm acting out of guilt or fear and try to shift back to alignment. Let's move on. I make space for conflicting thoughts or emotion instead of picking a side. I think I'm gonna check this one off. I feel like I do make space for a lot of conflicting thoughts and emotions. I like to sit with them. I like to talk about them. I like to process them. So I feel like I can check that one off. I trust my own sense of direction more than I used to. Checking that off. Growth and responsibility. I take ownership of my healing rather than blaming others for where I am. I feel like I've slowly started doing this year too, but I'm not fully there yet. I understand that I'm responsible for shaping my life, not just reacting to it. I'm also working on that one. I no longer expect people to rescue me emotionally. Okay, we're gonna move on. I view hard moments as a chance to grow, even if they hurt. Yes, that's definite check. How to use this. Check off what already feels solid. Circle what you're working on. So I've been doing that, and reflect on any of the ones you're avoiding, not as failure, but as an invitation to grow. That's just a checklist for 4. Let me know where you guys are in this whole stages. I feel like I'm like moving on to not finishing, but like maybe checking some things off on stage 4. Okay, so I'm gonna do the last stage, which is the self-transforming mind. Stage 5 is rare, and honestly it's kind of mystical. This is where you realize that even your stage 4 identity is just temporary structure. You begin to embrace complexity, contradiction, and paradox. Think, I can be strong and soft. I can love someone and walk away. I can be sure and open to change. This is the mind of visionary leaders, deep healers, and lifelong learners. They don't cling to one truth. They hold space for many. I feel that a lot of people that I know, they're not comfortable with change. They don't love when you like tell them to like not change, but like offer different point of views. There's like pushback. They don't want to change. They don't want to grow. They kind of feel like they're only right. And I feel like if you think you're only right, that's still I feel like that's regressing back to like stage 2. Like you're only thinking about what you want. Someone uses a lot of I statements when they talk to you. I feel like that's very like stage 2 behavior. Like that's very like what teenagers do. That's very like selfish in a way. Like they're not really stepping outside themselves to think about others empathetically. They're just only thinking about what you offer them and what they want. I want you to be like very honest with yourself. A lot of people with superiority complex, they're probably gonna be like, oh, I'm stage 5. But that's not what this is. This is more about like reflecting deeply about your own thought process and how you developing as an adult. So if you ever wondered why some people stay stuck in drama, manipulation, or helplessness, and why others seem grounded, clear, and free, it might not be intelligence. It might be developmental stage. Most people are stage 3. If you are actively questioning, setting boundaries, or choosing your own path, you're probably moving into stage 4. You don't have to rush. This isn't a race. It's a process. You'll move back and forth, especially under stress. The key is awareness. Once you know the stage you're in, you can grow from it, not shame yourself for it. You're not behind. You're just waking up. But before I finish the video, I also wanted to connect this with like why I find age gap relationships so weird or like uncomfortable. And a lot of people are like, if you're both adults, is fine, but I feel like this is like thinking deeper. These two people are probably in different developmental stages, and that's why I feel like that's what's like sinister about it or very uncomfortable to me. So I also wanted to talk about, I'm gonna explain why through Robert Kegan's like developmental stages, why I feel like age gap relationships feel like not balanced. So Robert Kegan's developmental stages can absolutely help explain why age gap relationships, especially between younger people and much older adults, can be inherently imbalanced or predatory, even if they look consensual on the surface. Here's how it connects. Most teens and young adults like 16 to 21 are typically in stage 2 or early stage 3. They're still forming their identity. They're heavily influenced by others' approval. They often can't yet separate themselves from how others perceive them. They're still developing emotional regulation, self-trust, and boundaries. Meanwhile, someone older, like 30s, 40s plus, is far more likely to be in stage 3 or 4. They're already formed a strong sense of self. They know how to manipulate dynamics intentionally or not. They may seek control, admiration, or validation from someone who is more easily influenced. So why is this predatory? Because it's not a relationship of equals in powers or development. Even if both parties agree, the older person may exploit the younger person's developing mind, insecurities, or desire to be loved. The younger person may confuse attention for love and lack the tools to recognize manipulation. The younger person might not fully grasp their right to autonomy, especially if they're still in stage 3 and redefining themselves through others. Example, if someone is 19 and dating someone who's 35, the 19-year-old might say they see the real me, not like people my age. But what's often happening is the older person enjoys the emotional control they have in that dynamic, and the younger person doesn't yet see the cost. Kegan's framework gives language to that imbalance. When you're in stage 3 and someone else is in 4 or 5, it's like being emotionally unmatched or outmatched. You don't even know the game you're in yet, and they've already written the rules. So yes, this is exactly why some age gap relationships are not just unconventional, but developmentally inappropriate and harmful, even if there's no force involved. So I just wanted to kind of connect that to the overall theme of this video, because that also got me thinking of age gap relationships. But yeah, this is one of the reasons why I finally found the words for it, because I'm like, y'all are literally, I mean, I guess someone's gonna be like, duh, they're in different developmental stages. But I'm like, no one ever goes into detail why, and that's the thing that frustrates me. I'm like, y'all like to say all these things like, oh, age gap relationships are wrong because they're in different stages in life, but no one ever talks about the stages. So that's why I kind of also want to make this video, just to connect everything, all the dots in my head, and also give an in detail reasoning why, and also I guess explain what stage I feel like I'm in, and also maybe help some of y'all life stage 3s or developmental stage 3s to kind of get to 4, because I guess that's the one that I'm like working towards. So that's why I want to give a checklist to specifically get to stage 4. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think of this video. Let me know if you like more videos like this, like psychology videos. I really like psychology, so I just wanted to make this video because it was very interesting to me. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Bye. But developmentally, oh my god, these too many syllables. Okay, this